Yo, yo, yo. What is the dealio, man? What's the dealio, y'all? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? It is Monday. It's Monday, man. It's a new week. So let's see. Yep. If y'all just tuning in, say what's up. Say what's up. Let me know y'all can hear me as well. What's up, Doria? Best Beezy, what up? What up? Marcia, how you doing? What's up, Swell Hunter? Yeah. All right, we got a new week, guys. All right, so listen, we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of setups we're going to go over today. All right, and we're going to talk about the market, where the market is at, and kind of like what I'm seeing and what we looking at. All right, what up, Shali? Okay, so I hope everybody had a great weekend. I hope everybody had a great weekend as well. What's up, Black Rose? How you feeling? Hey, be sure to like this video, guys. If you tuning in, like this video for me. Let's get this video to 100 likes. All right. All right. So let's recap real quick. We got the small account challenge popping off. If you want to, if you aren't in the Discord, join the Discord so that you can be alerted of all the entries on the small account challenge. If you guys aren't following the small account challenge, every Saturday we got a video and it drops, and I'm starting an account with $500, and from that $500 I'm going to be taking it and growing it for the next 12 months. Okay, 12 months, 52 weeks. All right, what's up? One-on-one. I do not know where to make an appointment. I'll put that in the box real quick. So, and then we're gonna get to these setups for the week, y'all. All right. Like I said, I hope everybody had a great weekend. It's Labor Day, right? It's Labor Day, so I hope everybody had a great weekend as well. All right. Here you go, Doria. All right. Can everybody hear me? This is a mic check. Can everybody hear me? If you can hear me, let me know in the comments. What up, Jose? What's up, Cat Loco? What up? What's up, Pamela? How you doing? If you guys can hear me, let me know in the comments. I want to make sure that you can hear me. Doria, I put the link down there for the one-on-ones as well. Okay. What's up, Jazzy D? What's up, 1 of 12? Marcia, what's up? Y'all can hear me? All right, so let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. So today is Labor Day. We got a 4-day week. All right, what's up, Donald? We got a 4-day week this week. What that means is obviously one less day of trading. So this week is going to feel a lot shorter, a lot faster. And so we got to be on our P's and Q's this week. All right, let's make sure we're on our P's and Q's this week. So what I want to do is I want a recap of last week so we could see how the watch list did last week. All right, so let's go to last week and let's see what happened. Okay. So what did I say? All right. So let's go to the charts real quick. Boom. What's up, Misha? All right. So this is what happened last week. All right. All right. So last week we had SoFi. Okay. I said if we could get above 25, 23, get into calls, and we could be going to $27 to $28, right? Let's go to SoFi and see what SoFi did. So last week, SoFi actually broke above our resistance, and then it went up $1, so it went up to 26.61 or 26.54, and then it rejected. Right? If you look on a daily, right? Let's look on a daily. So it came up here rejected, right? And then it came back up, and then it rejected again. So last week, SoFi, it did good on Monday to Tuesday, but that was it. And then it rejected and it came down, and then it came back up. So that's what happened with SoFi. And then we had Ionic, right? I said Ionic above 40.57, enter into calls, and we could go to $43 to $48, $44 to $48. So if we go to Ionic, last week, this was accident, my bad, y'all. This was Friday, Monday. Scroll up. All right. Monday. So this was last Monday right here. Okay. So last Monday was right here. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, right? So it came above 40.57 right here. And then look what happened. It went all the way up to $43.63 on Thursday, right? So if you would have got into Ionic last week and broke above that $40.57, you would have been able to catch this move right here, right? And you would have made a good amount of money, right? That was last week, Ionic. And then we had HIMS. It was at a demand zone. I said if we get above 45.95, enter in the calls, and let's see what happened with HIMS. I'm pretty sure it went down. HIMS, oh yeah. So HIMS did not break above. It broke above 45.95 on Tuesday, and then it rejected. So it didn't close above there, but it got there in the day, rejected, and then look what happened. It started to come down, right? So it went from 43 all the way down to $42, right? So it rejected right there. And then I gave a bonus. It was XYZ. I talked about XYZ last week. I said above 79.43 calls, could ride it up to 82.53. And let's see what XYZ did. So this was on Friday, and on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it got above 79.53, and it went all the way up to 82.21. So XYZ got up to 82.21, and then it rejected, and now it's hovering right here. All right. So that is a recap. All right. That is a recap as to what happened last week. So last week, here's what happened last week. And I would like to say that last week was a little bit weird because NVIDIA had earnings on Wednesday, right? NVIDIA had earnings on Wednesday after the market closed. So from Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, the market was kind of chopping around a little bit. The market wasn't making a lot of big moves. It was making some pretty small moves, right? And then NVIDIA reported earnings on Wednesday after market. And then Thursday, we had some better movement. And then on Friday, it was okay, right? So this week, we don't have NVIDIA reporting earnings this week because NVIDIA is the biggest company in the US, in the New York Stock Exchange, right? So we have to think about that. Now let's go over this week's earnings as well. For this week on earnings, this is what we got. All right, this is what we got for earnings. So this week, we got Neo tomorrow. Then we got Dollar Tree. We got Salesforce CRM. We got AI right here. And then we got what? Fig. Fig has been popular lately. And then we have what we got? Boom, boom. We got AVGO, Broadcom. Then we got Lululemon. And we got DocuSign as well this week, right? So these are stocks that have earnings and getting reported this week. No companies really that's like super big in like the S&P. Salesforce is a big company, but that's pretty much it, right? So that's what's going on. That's what's going on for earnings. All right. What's up, Dennis? What's up, Angie? How you doing? How you doing? All right, yeah. So I just wanted to go over what happened last week. I want you guys to understand the watch list is extremely powerful, right? If you pay attention to the watch list and you pay attention to the levels that I call out, I always say these things. If you pay attention to the levels, you can't go wrong, right? You cannot go wrong. So please understand that the levels that I'm giving, if you play the level either to the upside or to the downside, you will win, all right? So also, what I want you guys to know and understand is this is September. We are now in a new month, right? So everybody put your goals in the comments for this month, right? What do you want to do? Do you want to make X amount of dollars? Do you want to, limit your losses? Like, what do you want to do this week? What do you want to do this week? This month. What is your focus this month, right? You know I'm all about engaging when we get on live. I don't want to just come on, give you a couple stocks real quick and get up out of here. I want to engage with you. So what is your goals and what is your focus this month? This is a new month. You get to paint this canvas, right? You get to paint this blank canvas. Whatever happened last month, it don't matter. Whatever happened last month, it does not matter, okay? So let me know in the comments, all right? What do you guys want to do? And if you guys are just tuning in, say what's up in the comments. Let me know where you tuning in from, all right? And like this video for me, okay? We're going to be going over my top 3 setups this week. We're going to go over the market. We're going to go over SPY. We're going to go over IW, and we're going to get into all of that. But y'all know I like to frame things, and I like to set things up perfectly so I can deliver you this in the most powerful and effective way possible. All right? So just keep that in mind. So let me know where you guys tuning in from. Like this video for me. All right? And we're going to keep it going. Cat Loco said, just learn how to swing trade. Okay, ain't nothing wrong with that. Tilly said, make 5K this month. That's definitely doable. All right, definitely doable. All right, so I want you guys to understand that no matter what your goal is, I know a lot of times money is taboo and people don't want to say those things, but please understand that I hope you wrote them down. I hope you've been thinking about it. I hope you've been visualizing it as well, right? Because you got to do those things in order to bring them into the ether, right? So we got the SPY and we got IWM, right? Let's look at the SPY, okay? See, one said I want to be at better trading puts. Okay, that's a good goal because in September, you're going to need it. Because in September, we're going to see some red. We are going to see some red. All right. Pamela said learning technical analysis even further. That's a really good one because technical analysis is extremely important, right? I'm a technical analysis kind of trader. Technical analysis will change your life. All right. Bedford said make 5K this month to show myself I can make more than my $3,200 a month from my 9 to 5. Absolutely. You definitely can. So that's a great one right there. Lando, be consistent in the first 20 trades. Okay. That's a really specific one right there. Best B, I want the 5-figure trade. There you go. You definitely gonna get it. You definitely gonna get it. McAfee, what's up from Memphis? Shout out to Memphis. Starting over trading. I want to grow my small account. Okay. Well, join the small account challenge. If you want. We growing a $500 account in one of my accounts. So every Saturday I'm documenting that. Dallas girl, I want to make 2K to pay for my daughter's baby shower. Hey, that's beautiful right there. You could definitely do that. You might be able to do it this week depending on your account size. All right, stick to my setups and rules. I want to break that 10,000. You're going to do that, best be. Learn options. Make 2K this month, okay. Make 5K this month, okay. Hey, I love the goals. I love what's going on. All right, so in the spirit of that, let's go over the SPY and let's go over IWM. Okay, learn dollar cost averaging better. All right. So I'm gonna share my screen. Y'all know how I do, right? I don't hold nothing back from you guys, right? I'm gonna share my screen and we're gonna go over these levels. So when we do this and we break this down, I literally give you resistance levels and support levels. Right? I literally tell you, okay, below this what's going on. So understand this analysis can make you a lot of money on this live. Not including every day when we have our watch list and in Discord. If you just base everything off those levels and you play off those levels, you will make money as well. All right? So don't take this stuff lightly. Angie's gonna make 5K this month. Hell yeah, you are. What's up, Cozy? All right, so let's go over the SPY and let's go over IWM. We're gonna do the SPY first. All right, so all right, average 280 per day, or at least come out this month positive. Okay. All right, so let's break this down real quick. All right. All right, so we got the SPY, right, y'all? We got the SPY. So here's what happened. I'm zooming in a little bit. So I want you guys to notice what's going on. We have this right here, right? We have a down move right here. And then we have an up move right here, okay? A sharp up move right here, right? And now we had it sold off right here. So we're not consolidating yet, right? We haven't consolidated and gone side to side yet. So when it comes to the SPY, I want you guys to pay attention to this 643.14 level. Now let's go to the weekly real quick. That was on the daily time frame. If we go to the weekly time frame, I want you guys to pay attention to 641, right? 641. So check this out. If the SPY breaks below 643.14, 643.14, right? We gonna say puts below, boom, right? And then if it breaks below 641, 641.56, below 641.46, right? That is a weekly support level. Okay. So here's the game plan for SPY right here to the downside. If we break below 643.14, puts, right? If we break below 641.46, that's a weekly support level, which is a stronger level, which means that it could really come sinking down all the way to 637, right? And or 633. Okay? So that is SPY to the downside. So I want y'all to pay attention to this 643.14 level right here. And then that next level will be 641.46. Okay? Now, if we want to go to the upside, I want you to look at 647.83. Right? Calls above 647.43. All right? Calls above 647.43. And then the target would be all-time highs right here at 649.50. Right? If we break above, we could go a little higher. If we reject right there, then we coming right back down here. Okay? Now we could open up, we could come up to 647, reject, and then we can start really coming down even lower. All right? So that's where we're at with SPY. I do think that we're going to be coming down, but we could come up first to here, 647, reject, and then get ready to really come down a lot more. Right? That's what could happen on SPY. All right, y'all? So let me know if that makes sense for the SPY. Let me know if that makes sense for SPY. All right? Next, we're going to go over IWM. Now, let me say this, right? Let me make sure I say this. What's up, Sean? September is historically bearish, right? September is historically bearish. But that does not tell you what days of the month that we're going to have red days and strong pullbacks, right? Understand what I'm saying. Even though September is a historically bearish month, that does not mean that every day during the month is going to be red, right? That does not mean that tomorrow we're going to have a red day for the next 3 days and then the rest of the month will be green. That is not what that means. What this means is the market is going to trick you out of your position. The market is going to trap you into thinking that the market's going up, is going to come down for 3-4 days, and then it'll end up shooting up, right? I need you guys to understand that the market is going to be very irrational this month. We do not know when we're going to get some strong pullbacks this month, but this month historically is a red month. But every day is not going to be a red day. So when you see stocks pull back 2%, 5%, 8%, don't get afraid. Do not get afraid. Those are great entries for swings a month out, 2 months out. Because by the end of the month, if a stock comes down by 10, 15%, it's going to retrace. Okay? So I really wanted to touch on that so you guys could fully understand everything. This is not about trading levels, support and resistance, and that's it. It don't work like that. You have to really understand the market sentiment. You got to understand the rhythm of the market. You got to understand the cycles. You have to understand all of these different things. Right? So please, please, please understand that, yes, September is a historically bearish month, but that does not mean that every day is going to be red. That's not what that means. Okay? And it does not mean that you know what days that there's going to be red. You do not know. Right? So I wanted to make sure that you guys understood that part before we move further. If that makes sense, let me know, because we got to stay sharp in the market. If that makes sense, let me know. All right. Best B said, you put a lot of time and effort into this analogy. I'm not going to let these levels and opportunities. Yeah, hey, no, seriously. We taking hours and hours, mapping out this watch list. It's a methodical process that we go through for sure. All right. What up? What up, Noah? Appreciate that, man. Stay on point. Play the market. Yeah, don't let the market play you. Do not let the market play you. All right. Limit my losses. Average 280 to 300 a day. There we go. Yeah, don't front run. What's up, QTZ? All right. If y'all just tuning in, do me a favor. Like this video. All right. Let's get this video to 100 likes. If you have not yet liked the video, and drop it in the comments. Let me know where you tuning in from. We going over the market. We going over the technicals. We're going over the charts. And I'm letting you know what I'm seeing, what the levels are. We just went over SPY. We're about to go over IWM. All right. We're about to go over IWM right now. And I'm going to give you all the levels for IWM. Okay. So just make sure you guys let me know where you're tuning in from and like this video. All right. Let's keep it going. IWM off the daily time frame, right? And the weekly. Let's start with the weekly time frame. Okay. Let's start with the weekly. Let's start with the monthly, actually. All right. So IWM, right? So we got, all right, IWM, right? So last month, this is what IWM looks like on a monthly. Right here. I think IWM about to come and hit all-time highs. We got a 3-bar on a month, right? If you know the strap method, then you know after this 3-bar, there's a high likelihood that we're going to get a 2-bar, a 2 up. So I think with IWM, I'm looking at the monthly, we going to see it come up here, right? If not this month, in October, right? Because what could happen this month is IWM creates a one candle, and then it consolidates for the whole month, and we have an inside bar. That's potentially what could happen. And then in October, we go up because we on a 3-1-2, right? So that's what I'm thinking. We either going to have a 3-2 or we're going to have a 3-1. And then in October, IWM is going to blast off to 240, right? That's off the monthly. Last week, a 2-up candle right here. Okay. If we break above, that's off the weekly. Let's look at the daily. All right. So if we break above 236.98, we could get into calls. All right. So calls above 236.98. All right. For IWM. But Friday, they did have a bearish day. All right. So, and they closed at 235.17. So, if we get below 234.33, puts below 234.33. All right. Puts below 234.33. All right. And then we could come down to like 233 and then even like 232. Right. So puts below 234.33 and then calls above 236.98. Now, pay attention to this gap right here that we do have. So we do have a gap from 226 to 227.17. So it's about $1 gap right here. So IWM could potentially come all the way down to 226 to fill this gap, right? It could be a day that we have data, right? We could have a data day, and that data could push the stock down. In the same way we had this type of green candle right here, we could have one of those red candles, right? Same way we had a green candle right here, we could have a red candle like this, a red candle like that, right? So with IWM, these are going to be my focuses right here. Calls above 236.98 and puts below 234.33. It's very simple. But on the monthly, IWM looks like it wants to go up, right? So if we do come down and we create a one candle for the month of September, then next month I will be looking for IWM to go up and touch those all-time highs, right? Let me know if that makes sense, man. Let me know if that makes sense. All right? I'm telling you guys, this stuff is powerful. All right? This stuff is powerful. Let's get it. St. Louis, what's up, first ballot? Okay, Dora, you from Boston? Okay, we got Tennessee. All right. All right, cool. So those are the indexes, right? Now with these indexes, you have days when you have a lot of like data coming out, CPI, PCE, treasury bond stuff. Like when you have days where data and news is coming out about the economy, inflation data, those are the days where the indexes, IWM, SPY, QQQ, TLT, XLE, those are the days where those stocks start to go crazy. So that's the days where you see them go crazy and people be making life-changing money, is because it's the days where the data is getting reported. And that data that gets reported pushes the indexes in a certain direction. All right? So keep all those things in mind. Right? If you are watching, also subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. All right? If you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We bring in videos to you every single day to help you change your life financially in the stock market, learning how to trade. I like to focus on technical analysis. All right? Technical analysis is my way to trade. And also, I focus on day trading and swing trading. All right? Those are my things. And I primarily focus on the strat method. That is how I trade. That's my strategy, the strat method. All right. Dolly Girl said, what is a one candle? A one candle means that the stock is consolidating and it is trading inside of the range of the previous candle. Right? That is what it is. I made a video on how I was able to double my profits trading. Go watch that video and I break down the actual strat method. Okay? So, now what we're going to do is we're going to go over the setups. Okay? We're going to go over the setups. What's up, Gigi? How you been? We haven't seen you. How you been? All right, so check this out. We got 3 setups that I'm looking at this week. I think I might make a whole video about setups that I see for the month. But let's go to the setups for this week so I could get you guys, your levels and everything, because I know what y'all paying attention to. All right. So let's check this out. I got some bangers for y'all this week, man. I got some bangers for y'all this week. All right. If you are in the Discord, you already know that these are bangers, certified bangers. All right. Strapped for money right now. Can't pay monthly fee. Definitely. Yeah. Come join. I've been grieving. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your loss, Gigi. I know how that could be. And sincerely, I mean that for sure. All right. So let's go over the first setup that I'm looking at. All right. Definitely sending prayers your way, Gigi. Everybody show love to Gigi in the comments, man. Send some prayers to Gigi for sure. All right. So let's go over the first setup. First setup that I'm looking at is going to be Apple. All right, Apple to the upside. Okay, now let's go over Apple and let me show you guys what I'm looking at. All right. All right. All right, let's check out Apple, y'all, on the weekly time frame. So first off, we got a bull flag on Apple. Okay? So look, I'm gonna type this in right here. We got a bull flag. All right. All right, we got a bull flag right here on the weekly time frame. Okay, we're on the weekly time frame. So as you can see, we had a move to the upside, right? And this is the pole. So for the last 3 weeks after we broke out, 1 week we came up, came back down. Next week we came down and we came up a little bit, but we're still right here. Third week, right here. The body of this candle has engulfed this candle right here, right? That's a bullish indicator. The buyers are engulfing the previous week's sellers, right? So if we can break above 233.37, you can enter into calls. Now, let me give you the price targets for Apple. The first one would just be right here, right? From 233.37 to 235.07, right? Price targets. One would be 235.07. All right. So that's price target one. If we can break above that one, right, then we could go potentially to right here, 244. All right. 244.08, 03, 09. All right. 244.09. All right. Price target. All right. I would say 244.09. Okay. So we got calls above 233.37. You could ride it up to 235.07. If it just is cruising past there, then we could really realistically be going to 244.09. All right. And this is based off the weekly time frame. So this could take a couple weeks, right, to do. Or we could come down here. So if we break below, now this is a wide range right here, right? Our range would be all the way down here at 223. So support off the weekly time frame would be 223.88. Okay, so watch this. Weekly support. All right, would be 223.88. All right, it's the weekly support. Now, if we go to the daily, we got right here. Right, so we got 224 as well. But realistically, I would want to see Apple break out to the upside. I wouldn't really care to play Apple to the downside. But on the daily, if it breaks below 231.43, like tomorrow, you could enter in the puts. Okay? So this would be for a day trade, right? We got 231.35. All right, so puts below 231.35. All right, boom. And that would be a day trade, right, for tomorrow, right? And then calls above that 233.37. All right, but puts below 231.35. That would be my levels for Apple tomorrow and this week. All right, that would be my levels for tomorrow and this week. All right, so if you got that, let me know in the comments if that makes sense on Apple. All right. What's up, Gerald? Yeah, y'all show Gigi love for sure. TG, the Discord, I'll drop the link. It's $40 a month, but we're gonna be adding some stuff to the Discord, and we will be going up on a price soon. So if you want to get grandfathered in to the Discord at $40 a month, then don't hesitate, because once we go up on the price, we're never, ever, ever going to drop the price again. All right? So I will say that, okay? Like, everything is getting elevated. All right? So if you guys want to join the Discord, join the Prosperity Collective. This is not a Discord. This is a trading community. This is a collective, right? It's a real community. If you want to join it, then I'll just put the link inside of the what you call it, the chat box right there. Okay, but yeah, join the Prosperity Collective, right? Come trade with us, come build with us. All right. Yeah, Best B, I think it's gonna be a nice swing. What's up, Travis? All right, it could be, or it could just you could just scalp it. All right. The next stock that I'm looking at, the next setup that I see, that I'm looking at right here. I think this one gonna be a nice layup. Okay, watch this. We got Palo Alto Networks, right? Ticker symbol is gonna be PANW, right? Right here, PANW. All right, so let's go to the charts and let's go look at PANW, right? And W, where we at? There we go. All right. So we got PANW, right? This is off the daily time frame right here. But let's look at the weekly real quick. Okay. If we look at the weekly time frame, check this out, y'all. We have right here. All right. So we have a sell-off right here from 5 weeks ago, right? 5 weeks ago, we had a sell-off. If you go to the daily, it was right here, okay? It was right here at the end of July, right? So we had a sell-off right here. This was earnings, I believe. They gapped down, right? Then they started to come up and fill this gap right here. But they still have, on a weekly, we still have this distance to go. We got this distance to go right here, right? Boom, boom, right? So we have from 192, 80, all the way up to 200, right? 210, really, okay? I like to be modest. So we got a 222 bullish continuation right here. if we can break above 192.47, if you want to be very careful and cautious, you could even say if we get above 192.71, right? If we get above 192.71, you take an entry and you could ride this thing up to $200, right? Or you could say off the daily, right? If we get above this level right here, then I'll ride it up to, you could say the 9, like even just halfway through. So like just $200 or 195, right? But all you have to do is just read price action. And if you see a reversal coming, then just get out, right? But if you go to like the 4-hour time frame, right, you can see that this is a level right here, right? It rejected right there a couple days ago. Came up, rejected right there, right? So we got a little resistance at like 195 on the 4-hour. But if we get above 192, you can ride it up to 195, right? See if we break above it or if we reject from there. If we break above it, then you can stay in and you can ride it up here, right? But look what happened. Once it got above this level right here, once it got above here, it just blasted off, right? So it went from 186 all the way to 192 very easily, right? Very easy. All right. So calls above 192.47, right? Calls above 192.47 on ticker symbol PANW. All right, ticker symbol PANW. Let me know if that makes sense. All right. He said put below Apple for 231. I said, let me go to Apple. Pull up Apple. So if we going to Apple right now. For Apple, I said puts below 231.35. Puts below 231.35. You could write it down to about 223.88. Right? Yeah, you could write that thing down. So Apple is either going to blast off or it's going to sell off. Right? Like based on the levels that I'm seeing, it's a lot of room to the downside and to the upside. All right. Yeah, those 3 green soldiers on PANW, they look nice. They look real nice. All right. So we got Apple and we got PANW. And I just went over to SPY and I went over IWM. For every single stock, I gave you guys actual levels. I gave you guys upside levels and I gave you guys downside levels. I also gave you my rationale behind it, right? We got a retracement on we got a retracement on PANW. We got a bull flag breakout on Apple, right? This next stock that I'm about to give you is going to be a retracement as well, okay? So here's what we're going to do. Yep, exactly. So the last stock in it, after this, if we have a little bit of time, we could go over a couple stocks, right? So let's go to my last setup that I see that I have on the watch list for the week. All right. So the last stock that I see on for a setup for this week, it's going to be a banger. All right, here's what we got. We got TTD, which is the trade desk, right? I call these in the Discord, in the Prosperity Collective every day. I mean, every Sunday. Every Sunday, we put out a watch list, right? We got 3 other stocks that Marcel put in here as well. So if you get in and you understand these levels, you could make a lot of money off of our watch list alone, right? So TTD, it gapped down, right, from $87. So let's go to the charts and let's go look at TTD, right? Let's go look at the trade desk. So right here, it's loading. All right, boom, right? So look at this. We are on the weekly. Let's go to the weekly real quick, right? So 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, they came all the way down here, right? So they gapped down on a daily time frame. They gapped down from here to here. They gapped down, so they came from $87 all the way down to 56. And look what happened though, right? Look what happened. It took them a month. They chopped around for a month, and now they look like they want to start coming up because it closed above the 9 EMA. It did not get above the 9 EMA this whole time until Thursday. Thursday, it got above the 9 EMA, and then it consolidated on Friday, right? So, and if you look at the weekly time frame right here, now we got a 212 reversal, bullish reversal. So if we can get above 55.51 on TTD, I like TTD to the upside. You could ride it to $57, or you could see just how far it could go. I think that TTD could at least get to $63 off the weekly time frame, which would be the 9 EMA on the weekly time frame. Right? So I think that we can get there at least. If you look at the daily, we're already at the 9 EMA right here, and we're inside of it. So let me see where the 21 is at real quick. Look at the 21 EMA. So my next target for TTD, if we got in right here, I would say 59.97 would be my next price target. Okay, so calls above 55.51, and then you take entry, and then you ride it up until 59.97. That's where the 21 EMA is at on that 9 on that daily time frame right there. All right. So I think those are some solid setups right there, and you can make a lot of money with those. All right. What do you say? Is SoFi still in play for a swing? I'm not looking at it for this week for real. Like last week, it did what it did. I think that it could finally start to go up, but I'll pay attention to SoFi if I start to see momentum and it's breaking like key levels. But that's pretty much it on SoFi. TTD just rejected on that level so far. Exactly. Yeah, we got to see if it breaks through or not. C1, out of the monthly, weekly, and daily, which one do you use for confirmation? PANW says bullish, but the monthly says bearish reversal. I'm a bit confused. So actually, on the monthly, it's not a bearish reversal on PANW, right? So pull this up. On the monthly, right here, it bounced off that 21 EMA. Boom, right? So it actually, if I take off the Strat Assistant, you'll see that, you'll see that this is actually a green candle right here, right? This is actually a green candle, which means that the stock came down and then buyers stepped in and pushed it all the way up, right? Pushed it all the way up. So, and that's the Strat Assistant. So honestly, with PANW, based on the technicals, I do think it's going to go up. I just don't know what part of the month it will. And that's why you got to set them alerts and just kind of like let it do what it do, because stocks are going to go everywhere. But if they come down first, then I'm going to expect them to go up later on in the month, right? They may go up slower because September is historically a bearish month anyway, but I do think that it's going to go up. All right. So yeah, I'm out of SoFi. Right now for the small account challenge, I'm only right now in CNC calls. And that's a healthcare company. Let me see if after hours is open yet. So after hours just open. So I'm hyped. Right now I'm hyped right now because now after hours is open. So now we get to see where the market is opening at, right? So let's see. Daily watch list right here. So SoFi is down. My CNC is down a little bit right now overnight. HIMS is up a little bit. Celsius is up. Where we at? MRK is up. That's healthcare. Hood is up a little bit. Right? A lot of other stocks are down. Alibaba gapped up. They up like crazy. Right now, Google is down some. Right? Amazon is down. Where we at? CRM is up. AVGO is up. Gold is going silly. Gold is up $2, $3 overnight right now. Tesla is up. They at break even. They flat right now. Microsoft is like flat. The SPY is down by 60 cents right now. Meta is down by $3. So Meta might come down and fill that gap to the downside. Right? We gonna see. So it's looking like just off of this right here, just off of what I'm seeing right here with nothing else, it's looking kind of weak, right? Oracle's down. I've been playing with Oracle a lot lately too. So things are looking like they want to start coming down just based off of what I'm seeing. But as we know, we don't know what's going to happen. I have seen the whole market red in after hours, right? Or pre-market, and then stocks go crazy. And I've seen everything be green, and then they gap it up, and then they sell off real fast and real hard, and then boom, right? Now the whole day is green. So we do have to see what's going on, but after hours is open, and now we get to kind of like go look into our accounts and see where stocks are at. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Yeah, leaps. Yeah, all of that. Leaps, swing trades, day trades, scalp trades, shares, all of it. Absolutely. All right. So we got a couple minutes. So is there any stocks that you guys are looking at this week that you want to go over real quick for everybody to see? Drop the stock in a comment box, the chat box, and then I'll go over a couple before we get off here. SoFi broke HH on a daily holding the 9 EMA. Yeah, I think that, SoFi could go up. Like I say, it's not on my watch list, but I'm watching it. You get what I'm saying? So if I see it break a level, I'll take a trade. I don't only trade what I put on my watch list, right? The watch list is to document the journey of my analysis and also help people in the Prosperity Collective to have an outline approach to taking trades and looking at something and being focused, right? I don't only trade what, what I put on the watch list though. All right. He said it's a long 13 hours. Nah, for real. So NVIDIA, let's go over NVIDIA real quick, y'all. All right, let's do NVIDIA. We smacked them last week. NVIDIA, APLD, Webull. So I'll probably do those three because I like those three. All right, so let's do NVIDIA first. All right, so let's look at NVDA. All right, so check it out. We got NVIDIA right here. This is on the monthly. All right. So if you look on the monthly, right, NVIDIA looks like it wants to reverse. There's no buying pressure. There's like buyers are exhausted up here, right? This body is so small. Sellers stepped in, pushed it down, right? So for NVIDIA, I would say puts under, not on a monthly. I would say come down to the weekly, and I would say like puts under 173, right? Puts below 173. But so we had a failed 2 up, a 2 down, and then another failed 2 up. So I definitely think that Nvidia is going to be coming down. If I look at them inside of Robinhood right now, they are at, Nvidia is at 172.86. So if Nvidia stays below 173, I think that they can definitely come down some more for sure, at least down to 168. All right. So Nvidia to the downside. Let's look at APLD. Right. APLD. We got kind of same thing, right? Failed to up right here, failed to go higher last week. It looks like buyers are getting exhausted. Below 1557, I would enter in the puts on APLD. And if we look at them right now in the after hours, oh, they don't show up. It still shows Friday's prices. So we'll see where they're at. But I think that APLD to the downside, they've been running up. So I think that they're due for a pullback. So they could be coming down to like $14 or potentially, not, I don't want to say 9, maybe like $12 to $14 is where they're going to be coming up to or coming down to. So I would say them. And then we got Webull. Let's go look at Webull real quick. All right, Webull. Check them out. So this is on the weekly right here. Let's look at the monthly. Boom, right? Buyers are definitely exhausted as well. But on a weekly, came down. Right here. So I think that Webull, we could come down to potentially like this level right here. So like $12, right? But I think around this $12 level, we could see a bounce. Or we could see a bounce a little bit earlier, right? But I think that this is a buying zone for Webull. So I would definitely, I might enter into some swings on Webull this week because they did beat earnings. It wasn't horrible. They did fall after earnings, but it wasn't because of like revenue or anything like that. They were trying to get go public, so they showed a loss on their reports, but it was because they were going public. Everything else is good on Webull. So I think that this is a buying zone, and if you get a swing 3-4 months out, I think you can make a lot of money on Webull, the stock, right? I think they have a lot of upside potential to go to the upside, and they just came from $17 literally 2 weeks ago, and then a month ago they was all the way at $18.36. So if they can just retrace where they just came from, you can make a lot of money with Webull. All right. So yeah, so that's what I see. Yeah, this is a place to be. Yeah, join the Prosperity Collective, y'all. And let me say this, right? Like real talk, this is not a Discord. This is a trading community. This is a collective of people that's getting to it on a consistent basis. This is not a Discord. This is not a spammy body Discord, right? This is a branded community, right? Where we come together and we break bread every single day. So I want you guys to understand that this ain't just another Discord, right? You come in and that's it. No, this is a trading community. You are a person, you matter, and we want to treat it as such. All right. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. Not something to go over, but keep your eye out for a company called OrganX, Ox, similar to Transmit. Okay. They IPO. Yeah, a lot of stocks that IPO, they go crazy for a short period of time, and then they go down, they sell off, and then they level out, and then we start seeing like what's their trends gonna be. So for sure. All right, definitely buy at $12. I want in, yeah. So yeah, I'll put the link right here one more time to join the Prosperity Collective, to join the trading community, right, and also the investing community as well. Because, it's not just, trading, it's everything else. All right. So if you want to trade with me, and Marcel tomorrow, this week, then also be sure to join. And I'm telling you guys right now, we're going to be adding a lot of stuff, and you want to get in and get grandfathered in before we end up going up on the price. Seriously, you want to get in before we go up on the price, because it will never be what it was. All right. Seriously. So CGC, yeah, CGC and what's the other one? Tilray. Marijuana stocks, they're having a time right now. So shout out to that. All right, so yeah, we go over all of this stuff more in depth. We have conversations about these things inside of the community, and you can always refer back to what happens inside of the community, inside of the Prosperity Collective as well. All right, guys. So I highly encourage you guys to join. I highly encourage you guys to book a one-on-one. Let's make this money this week. All right, let's make this money this week. All right. So like I always say, and I want you to say it with me, y'all. All right. Make sure you get up out of your head and go get into this world, because your head is a dangerous place to live. All right. And also remember, the more you study, the less you worry. All right. Yeah, Cat Loco, I do trade on Webull. All right. So you guys have a nice night. We're going to smack the market tomorrow. Trade responsibly. Don't make any irrational decisions. And I will see you guys on tomorrow's video. And I will see you tomorrow in the Discord as well. All right. Y'all stay smooth. And I'm going to see you guys later on. Peace.